There are riots happening all over France. But this time, not for the old reason. This time for a very American reason, an incredibly American reason, as a matter of fact. Police brutality. A teenager, an Arab teenager, as far as I understand, was shot dead by the police, and everyone is up in arms over it. Because, you know, in a lot of circumstances, in a lot of other countries, police killing a citizen or just anyone really is often a unique circumstance. This time, the teenager was 16 years old.
Over the fatal police shooting of a teenager. You are seeing his mother right there leading a tribute march a short while ago. The boy, identified by authorities
17,
as Nahel M, is reported to be of North African descent. The shooting happened during a traffic stop on Tuesday in Nanterre, a working-class town on the outskirts of Paris. French officials say the officer who shot and killed the 17-year-old acted, quote, illegally. We're now learning that the officer has been put under formal investigation for voluntary homicide. Well, protesters have set fire to several cars.
That's
in Nanterre.
crazy.
French President Emmanuel Macron calling the shooting unjustifiable while also condemning the unrest. Our Paris correspondent Melissa Bell has more.
Cars.
Wait. The police immediately said this was crazy. They didn't say we got to review the body camera footage and then like, wait, what? I'm so confused. Like, so a cop shot a teenager, a brown teenager. They lied at first? Okay, so I don't know the exact details of this, but the timeline here is pretty swift for the United States of America by U.S. standards, which is the worst in the world. Not just the developing world, or not just the developed world, but the developing world even. So yeah, they lied until a video came out. People are pointing out that the people of color are the ones rioting while white people want the unrest to stop. Okay. Everybody was rioting over the fucking pension plans. Who gives a fuck who's rioting? I don't give a shit. Also, who's pointing that out? So initially the officers claimed the driver rammed them. Is that what it is? Yeah, why are you pointing that out? Racist and also not true. I think it's the person that literally said that here. Wait, let's...
Town halls, school.
No, he refused to cooperate. They don't have body camera here. White people are lying about the teen, saying he has precedence, but it's not true. No, he refused to cooperate. So they're lying about the teenager's background. Okay, hold on. Doubt the amount of riots. Doubt these riots amount to anything either. Dude, I don't know if I should use Richie Medhurst's like takes on the matter. Okay, I mean, I don't know how valid this is going to be. I need better information. Here. Cop was word saying, I'm going to shoot you in the head of the teenager. Do you have anything better than a fucking Twitter thread or no? Is that all we got? It's a good thread, not gonna lie. It's still a fucking Twitter thread, man. It's just like, and it's not from a journalist, okay? It's not even from a French person. So obviously, like, on the hierarchy of like media literacy and what I think is a good resource, 45,000 French police gendarmes mobilized overnight to contain unrest. Okay. Here, French football legend Mbappe. Okay, I don't care about all that yet. Hold on. Riders loot gun store in Central Marseille, steal rifles. Flashes in Central Marseille. 49 people arrested. Geneva public transport stops at the French border. All right, let's get to the fucking start. God damn it! I want to get to the beginning. I want to know what happened originally. Okay, this is very frustrating. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. And I don't care about like the actual videos either. This entire story seems to almost exclusively exist on Twitter. It's weird. All the videos are with very few people and don't look like riots, just vandalism. France shooting. Macron accuses rioters of exploiting teen killed by police. Okay, at a crisis meeting, France's president said more officers would be deployed to contain the violence, but stopped short of declaring a state of emergency. He urged parents to keep rioting children at home and social media platforms remove certain content. France has been rocked by 3 nights of unrest after Nahel M, 17, was killed as he drove away from a traffic stop. More than 915 arrests were made on Thursday night alone. Okay, they care more about like the subsequent things that have happened than the actual issue at hand. Do you guys get what I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to learn every single minute detail about what led to a bunch of fucking French cops to behave like an American cop. Okay, that's what I want to know. I want to know what they did.
This morning, France is waking up after another night of clashes around the country in Lille and Toulouse, and predictably here in Nanterre, the Paris suburb that was the catalyst for all the disorder that has followed. Behind me over there, you can see fires burning in the middle of the street. We can see riot police officers there, in fact, just walking past us here, and the smell of tear gas still lingers. This is not going to end easily. And why? Well, because this area and all of France has now seen that video of a French police officer shooting a teenager in a car just a mile or so from where I'm standing. Now, that has been condemned by the president, by the interior minister, by prominent individuals, including Kylian Mbappe, the super famous French footballer who grew up also in a French suburb. And what has happened is
the reason why I wanted to know this was because of the people in the chat literally fucking shooting their mouths off in the most racist fucking ways possible. Now, are they all personally racist? Are they French type racists who are like, well, he was Algerian, so clearly, you know, that's why he was driving irresponsibly? No, I don't think so. I think they're just the regular type of racist that hears other actually super white nationalist French people literally fucking lie about the circumstance, and they come in here and repeat it. Okay? It's a negligence. It's the racism of negligence. Okay? Something seems right to you, you just repeat it in the chat. That is precisely the reason why I wanted to fucking see the exact circumstances, because there were people in the chat literally being like, well, he drove into cops. Well, he refused to cooperate after driving into cops. Like, he tried to kill cops with his fucking car. Okay?
Synthesis of all the discontent by people who live here about what they see as the brutality of the police, about the way that they think that the system has forgotten them, hasn't given them jobs or education, has left them behind in the economy. And that discontent has clearly simmered and boiled over here, driven by the fury over the killing of this 17-year-old. What will now happen is a march from the prefecture here in Nanterre, led by the mother of the teenager who died. The question here in Nanterre and for all of France is whether this discontent will continue or whether it will simmer out. And right now, nobody knows the answer to that.
The video of the shooting exists. You can't see the victim in the situation, but you can see, like, basically the whole video. This is the moment that a French police officer fired on a car as it drove away from a traffic check in a Paris suburb. I think he, like, drives away after he's shot at. Yeah. Like, he fires off once the car starts. He fires off once the car gets in motion. Okay? It's point blank, by the way. I mean, I'll just show it to you. You can't see anything gory, but the shot is fired like at point blank range. The shot is fired at point blank range as the car is accelerating a little bit. The cop in the video, as far as I understand, so non-compliance then. Oh, dude. Oh, you're so right. I forgot. You can execute people in cold blood when you're at a traffic stop. Yeah. I didn't realize that that's the world we lived in, where cops can stop you and put a gun to your fucking face and say, I'm going to shoot you in the head, which is what I was about to mention. There's one part of the video in which circumstance you get to be killed due to noncompliance. Yeah, no, I love that. I love when you're such a fucking American bootlicker that you're deciding to defend French boots. Like, where is your decency? Where is your sense of honesty? Where is your anti-French sentiment? Really? I mean, think about that. Like, you are bootlicking as a hobby made you fucking defend French police boots, okay? You're an American. Have a fucking backbone, you pussy. What is this? Refresh, and I don't know. Tired of the JK actually Andes? Yeah, it was really funny, man. Apparently, cops are allowed to shoot after calling twice to cooperate. That is fucking insane. Apparently, police tried to say the teenager was trying to run them over originally, and then the video came out, it seems. And that's the reason why people are so fucking angry. Because the original narrative was very quickly and intensely falsified by the actual evidence. Yeah, so he was killed. His car was seen crash further down the street because he got fucking shot. The police officer suspected of firing on him was detained and faces potential manslaughter charges, according to Nanterre prosecutor's office. The death triggered unrest in multiple towns around Paris. Officials said 31 people were arrested, 25 police officers were injured, and 40 cars were torched. Another video shows the cops right before the first video hitting the kid inside multiple times before threatening to shoot the driver in the head. Have that one.
Tensions remain high across France tonight after days of protest over the fatal shooting of a teenager by police. The 17-year-old was killed on Tuesday in a Paris suburb during a traffic stop. The officer who fired the shot has been charged now with voluntary homicide. And today, a memorial march led by the victim's mother also ended with violence. 40,000 police are now on alert across the country.
17-year-old Nail's mother led a fired-up crowd in what started as a peaceful protest for her son. But simmering tensions boiled over as people threw projectiles at police who used tear gas.
17 years old, man.
The vigil turning to vandalism for some as cars were again set alight. It's the third day of unrest over Nail's killing, While the officer who shot him has now been charged, some say the problem goes much deeper.
We live in France, which is supposed to mean equality, freedom, fraternity, but that doesn't exist anymore. The police make the rules and do what they want. If they decide to kill someone, they just do it.
I would like it to never happen again. It shouldn't be possible to die like this, for no reason. I wouldn't want it happen to my own children.
Bro, the amount of times I've told you European fucks keep laughing from over there at America, you're just basically laughing at your own future. I hate to fucking be the bearer of bad news, but that is now, okay? It's here. That fucking corporate brain rot, that hyper-capitalist brain rot that slowly but surely has eroded your own constitutions, your own checks and balances, the pervasive influence of lobbying that I told you was coming to your fucking countries. It's been happening for the past 10 to 20 years. And now you're finally starting to see the worst aspects of it. And get ready, because the other side of it, it's already existed. It's already been in existence in places like Sweden and whatnot, where like any kind of fucking immigration is seen as like the main reason for why society's awful, any kind of like awful feeling that you have due to existing under this like these crippling conditions are directly related back to immigration, directly related back to refugees, directly related back to Islam, when, you know, it has nothing to do with that at fucking all. So there's that as well. And now you have the police that are supposed to be controlling the population, that are there to protect and control, protect and serve the interests of capital, take carte blanche approaches to you know, wanton violence that is unchecked, unrestricted, and it's going to get fucking worse.
My eldest is 11. It could be him in 5 years, dying from a gunshot wound. This really needs to stop.
Authorities have struggled for days to control rioters. Protesters have burned a town hall outside the northern city of Lille, with public transport in Paris also targeted. Tram and bus services in several regions have been shut down early.
Maybe there are other ways of discussing this problem, rather than making trouble for people going to work.
The government is deploying 40,000 officers and says it will take a zero tolerance.
I mean, it'll never not be wild to me to see an entire nation in a state of disarray and unrest with mass mobilization happening in public over one singular teenager being shot at a traffic stop. And of course, I'm not trying to belittle or minimize the violence that you are seeing, right? But I'm simply an American. So when I see a 17-year-old get shot at a traffic stop, I think, well, that's a Tuesday. Our police force kills 1,000 civilians a year. You know? So it feels wild to see an entire developed Western nation be up in arms for another unarmed killing of a teenager. Yeah, I did see Mbappe came out. Wait, he's now condemning the protest violence?
Tolerance approach to any torchings.
More than a dozen police stations or barracks have been attacked. They have shown great professionalism in very difficult conditions. And I want to reiterate my support and confidence in them. I am standing by their side.
Curfews have been announced in some areas on the outskirts of Paris as authorities brace for more fury.
And joining us now from Paris is Linda Givtash, a journalist with the news agency AFP. Linda, the officer involved has now been put under formal investigation. What can you tell us?
People are obviously very upset over the incident over the last 48 hours. There's a lot of emotions running high right now within the community. A young man is dead. The investigation is progressing quite rapidly. The fact that they have had this officer in question already detained, already bringing him to the magistrate's court. There's a lot of progress, really rapid, in the fact that, again, emotions are running high. We're seeing a lot of action on the streets in terms of protests, both peaceful and also violent at times. So tensions are quite high right now.
So to make sure I understand correctly, do you think the fact that someone has been charged will go some way toward easing tensions here?
That is up to the communities, obviously, in question, the people around. I think, and it's hard to tell. We'll see how this evening progresses. At the same time, while we're seeing obviously action being taken on the front of justice, at the same time,
they've raised more money for the cop than the kid's mom. If you have any questions, ask away. I'm French. That part is not all too surprising. Racists are racist universally, you know what I mean? And they do the same fucking racist bullshit all around the world. In that moment, that cop is no longer a person. He is a martyr behaving in the way that white supremacists want him to behave. He's acting out his role, his responsibility in the eyes of those racist people. So they're going to celebrate that.
We have communities where there's curfews being put into effect. They've already, even for the capital region itself, for Paris, there are limitations on bus service and tram service this evening. People are not going to be able to move quite normally. Obviously, the metro is still running, the underlying subway is still running, but bus service is going to be limited. So the movement of people is going to be obviously controlled to a degree. So there's multiple factors.
I can see this getting completely out of control to a degree where like TwitchCon EU might not even happen. As it stands, it will, it seems. But if the protests escalate to a point where a cop ends up killing another fucking teenager or some shit while they're violently apprehending them because they're dipshits who don't know how to act, they're fucking animals. I could see this completely escalating out of control. TwitchCon is like next week.
Factors in effect at this moment, but for communities who want to see action, who want to see justice, the fact that there is someone who is under informal investigation should mean something to them.
Yeah, so many protesters are saying that the death of this teenager is just the latest example of systemic racism inside French law enforcement and a culture of impunity. How big of a problem is police violence in France?
I think, keeping in context, just the last few months of this year, not even looking earlier on, we just come off the heels of quite violent protests at times over the pension reform. I'm sure people around the world were paying attention to this, where the presidency and the government pushed through pension reforms to extend the age of retirement from 60 to 62. There were a lot of protests on that. And from that, also a lot of, they bubbled up into violent action. People were injured. Many people were arrested. And at that time, there was a lot of criticism over the excessive use of force of police, and that was called to question. And so for this to happen just months, practically weeks after those incidences where that's already still remains at top of mind for a lot of people here. It's just bringing up that entire question again.
Well, thank you so much for giving us that context. That is Linda Givtash from AFP. Really appreciate your time.
Are you justifying the rioting or no? Thousands of people's properties are being destroyed, whole businesses vandalized, people's livelihood burns down because dumb rioters, people taking advantage of the situation. People don't actually take advantage of riots. People riot because they've been taken advantage of. They've been abused. Like, we've talked about this quite a lot, as a matter of fact. I don't think you're in here to like genuinely hear my perspective, though. I'm gonna go ahead and make an assumption here. It seems like you're just here to argue and then maybe clip something, so you can turn around and be like, "Look, Hasan is on board with like rioting and stuff." Sounds like the summer 2020 with that take. Yeah. I think that they literally burned down a public library, bro. Yeah, I mean, they're also burning down fucking like subway cars and shit. Clearly, I'm not in support of either of those things being burned down. Are you stupid? Sure, gaslighting and no answer classic. No, if you want to understand my position, I've said this many times over. If you want to stop rioting from happening amongst the citizenry, riots don't happen when citizens are happy. Keep your citizens happy. One very effective method of doing so is not giving cops the legal go-ahead to shoot someone if they are not complying at a traffic stop. It's not gaslighting. It's not gatekeeping. It's not girl bossing. You're just too stupid to understand anything beyond yes or no, because you're like a fucking cackling hyena here for what you perceive is red meat that you can get Reddit karma off of. To be fair, Parisians are never happy. I mean, I understand why they're not. You're not happy either. The only difference is we don't have like the culture. We don't have the culture or the attitude or the organizational capacity to genuinely do something about it. His judicial file had 15 prior incidents. Those cops probably knew who he was. Dude, I fucking love that, man. That's not true, by the way. That's a lie. He did not have 15 prior incidents, as far as I understand. You just went along with a fucking lie, either because you yourself are racist, or you literally know better and you don't care. And even then, you think, first of all, let me just say something to you. I can't tell if these are like American losers who are just trying to defend French police brutality. Okay? I don't know if these are American losers trying to defend French police brutality. Wikipedia. Bitch, you can edit shit on Wikipedia. Let's look at this. Let's look at the situation on Wikipedia. But once again, it's always fucking funny when I can't tell if these are amateur French police brutality defenders or if these are American police brutality defenders who have a lot of experience with this sort of thing and are just doing it for the fun of it. Yeah, Reddit freaks, I was there and people are saying that the police should have used live rounds against the protesters. So let me explain something to you. Whether you are American or whether you're an American police bootlicker racist or a French police bootlicker racist, I've been here a million times over. Okay? Let me explain something to you, you dumbass eco-fascist fuck. That's an overpopulation measure. If there's a culling, never mind, I'm not going to say anything. Oh my God. Idiot. Too much Reddit. Too much fucking Reddit. You read too many threads and you now believe falsehoods like overpopulation is happening. Or that this guy actually at the age of 17 had 15 prior incidents without ever considering that maybe that's not the case and maybe you were lied to. But let me explain something to you. Cops do not know how many fucking priors you have at a traffic stop. Shut the fuck up. Not only did this kid not have that many priors, okay? Not only is the French police not defending these actions, you have taken a role that is further to the right than the French police. But last but not least, even if he had 15 fucking priors, does that give the cops the legal right to kill someone? Because if your answer is yes, I don't know what to tell you, but you deserve a lobotomy, okay? You need to be lobotomized if you legitimately think, like, the cops, one, knew that he had 15 priors, which, by the way, isn't even fucking true, okay? Like, you came to this conclusion with, like, 5 faulty premises. You need to believe that, 1, that this kid had 15 priors. You need to believe that 2, cops already knew that he had 15 priors. You need to believe that 3, cops should be able to reach the conclusion that he had 15 priors, and therefore they are able to fucking kill someone on the spot. How do you think that this is adequate? How do you think that this is an appropriate thing to think? Smile, I said he didn't deserve to die. Yeah, what you're doing, okay, is being a gigantic fucking pussy, okay? You are a pussy. You're not saying that he deserved to die, but I'm going to try to imply it as best as I can without actually saying it. Just say it with your fucking chest, pussy. What's wrong? Just say it. You have no fucking repercussions for it. You fucking pussy. You stupid bitch. The Wikipedia is an ad troll? What? Shortly after his death, an ambulance man, Marone, launched a tirade against a police officer, explaining later that he knew the boy as if he was his little brother. He had seen him grown up as a kind, helpful child. He never lifted raised a hand to anyone, and he was never violent, he told the reporters. Damn, dude. But Wikipedia said he had 15 priors, dog. Which also somehow means, by the way, I have no proof on this. Okay. Oh, yeah. You've been consistent on your takes on riot and looting. Yeah, this is 3 years ago. Dog is just biting her arm. The ambulance people were arrested for threatening the cops, too? That's awesome. That's crazy. A French ambulance worker exposed against the police. You can see he's just a kid. For not having a driver's license, Nanterre will hit the roof. The police arrested him afterwards for allegedly threatening them and inciting hatred.
Vous allez voir, il a 19 ans, tu vois qu'il a une gueule d'enfant. Tu vois qu'il a une gueule d'enfant. Pour un défaut de permis. Pour un défaut de permis, frère. Pour un défaut de permis, frère. Moi, j'ai mes collègues qui étaient là. Je le connais, le petit, j'ai vu grandir. Sa mère, elle a élevé toute seule, son père, il l'a quitté. Elle a enterré son fils. Elle est toute seule. Pour un défaut de permis. Elle se connaît de notaire. Un défaut de permis, on s'en bat les couilles. À l'époque, notaire, il te laissait, il venait te chercher chez toi après quand il te reconnaissait. Notaire, il venait te laisser chercher chez toi. Appelle le PC Julien, un peu partout. On est connus. Comment c'était? Vous allez.
Oh, by the way. His record of attendance of college was poor. He did not have a criminal record, but he was known to police. There you go. If a dog is biting her arm and can be allergic to the chicken content in her food, I think so. I think that's what it is. You understand a bit of French? No. He was driving a rental car when the police pulled him over for breaking several road rules. You're known now. They're coming for you. Oh, he said, I saw him grow. His father left his mom, raised him alone. Now she's alone. You're known now. They're coming for you. Yes, every kid in a bad neighborhood had known to police in the end. College is the word for school before high school in French. What is this? His Twitter? Twitter. Twitter is this? That his colleagues were there and he's warning them about the riots that were, which of course ensued. Yeah. Dude, I assume people are about to be like, dude, he missed attendance. Like, why didn't the cops shoot him earlier? What the fuck is going on? Missing attendance at school? Punishable by death, by the way. Fucking Kamala Harris chatters over here. Okay, I have this. I have this. I have this on the matter. Cover the I gotta take Kai out real quick.
According to the Figaro newspaper.
Hey, that's 30 seconds. That's not it. It was woke. I did not consider that. You're right. I should have. Here.
Set on fire across France.
Now that we know more, we can look at the story.
Of 17-year-old Naël continued into a second night. Enough to force the French president to call an emergency ministerial meeting.
The last hours have been marked by violent scenes against police stations, but also schools and town halls, and basically against institutions and the Republic. It's absolutely unjustifiable.
The deployment of some 2,000 police officers on Wednesday to the Paris suburbs did little to quell the anger, with 150 people detained. It's not the Republic that was in custody. It was not the Republic that killed this young man, pleaded the government spokesman Olivier Véran this morning. Another appeal in vain to calm the violence, as Véran described some of the attacks on government institutions as organized, almost coordinated. In response, a massive deployment of police forces on Thursday, some 40,000 across France, including 5,000 in Paris. But even before nightfall, a protest led by Naël's mother turned violent. Emotions still raw, even as the police officer accused of shooting the teen was...
If it's not the Republic, then what is it? Like, I don't understand. It's the state that executed a child. Like, oh no, it wasn't the state, dude. Actually, it was fucking, according to Macron, video games and Snapchat and TikTok. Here it is, France riots. President Macron blames video games for unrest, calls on parents to help, says report. Classic, dude. I in a way, it's pretty funny. If you were stretching your fingers to attack looting in 2023, you're a massive loser. What? It is kind of weird, and in a, like I said, in a tragic way, kind of funny to see their neoliberals behave exactly like our neoliberals. You know what I mean? In France, we're stealing your racism, hillbilly. Yeah, no, I mean, it's, well, first of all, let's be real. French people pretty much practically invented American racism. Like, what the fuck do you mean we're stealing your racism? You're just getting it back from us. We improved it, and now you're just taking it back. Okay? Europeans are the OG racists. They taught Americans how to do it. Americans were European, and then we improved on it, and now you're taking it back. Anyway, but it is funny. I know you are basically carbon copying like American institutional negligence.
Placed under formal investigation for voluntary homicide. Scuffles breaking out along the margins of the march, some 6,000 strong, according to local media. Anger on the streets of France remains all too palpable, with a family grieving and a community looking for answers as Paris suburbs and much of the country prepare for another difficult night.
CNN's Melissa Bell standing by in Paris. And as I'm going to pick up with what you left off there, Melissa, community looking for answers. I'm expecting that they will come out to the streets once more. How are authorities preparing for this?
Well, there's 40,000 policemen and women that are to be deployed, not just here on the outskirts of Greater Paris, Issa, and those neighborhoods, those communities so traditionally affected by these sorts of incidents and questions and tragedies. There is the deployment across the country, but the fear is that just as we saw last night, anything that represented the state, whether it was schools, police stations, town halls, they were targeted. The expectation is that that will happen again tonight because of that deep-seated anger at the fact that here in France, for many years, Issa, despite many of these tragedies over the years, allegations of police brutality and fears of the systemic racism that many believe fuel them or allow them or certainly have underpinned them are not sufficiently investigated. In fact, it is very difficult in this country to find even the words to do so, since state institutions cannot speak of questions of race and ethnicity in the tradition, in the respect of the institutions of the Republic. People are meant to be considered equal. What that means is that any hint of differences that are to do with race or religion or ethnicity are sort of drowned out. And that's part of the frustration that you're seeing in those neighborhoods tonight. We saw it this afternoon. It's likely to continue tonight because that anger is something that they feel a great deal and that they have a lot of trouble getting recognized by authorities. And it has made it traditionally very difficult for the police to address those issues of racism within its ranks.
We should be keeping a close eye on what's happening in the streets of Paris. Thank you very much, Melissa Bell, there for us. Well, rights groups in France have been speaking out against police violence and systemic racism within law enforcement for years. I want to discuss further. Mathieu Garodisky is an expert on security and police issues, as well as a political science researcher at university.
Okay, so a couple things. The Aussie boys came back. Okay, and they have this like deck of Magic the Gathering cards. And they're like super stoked. They're like, yeah, we're going to get that one ring. Like we bought these fucking decks of cards and like we're going to open them and we're going to get that one ring. And I was like, bro, I got some bad news to tell you. It's been found as of like, 6 a.m. this morning. And they went from wanting to open it first wanting to sell it to XQC to then wanting to open it on stream to now just they're opening it on their own. In the corner, sad. Like I can see them from over here. They're just like sitting on my dining table. I just sucked the joy right out of them, dude. I didn't know. I didn't know it would like fuck you guys up. The prices dropped immediately as soon as it was found. So they probably didn't drop the price for you because they were like, yeah, sucker. Yeah, these guys speak funny. Let's fuck them up. Don't open them. Draft. Wait, what? They already opened them. Alexa opened them and didn't even look through them. There's still other rings. Like there's apparently a dwarven ring that's worth thousands. Not true. They found it 2 weeks ago, but Dave and Adams kept it under wraps. I live in Buffalo, and the workers said they were being contacted literally the day the set came out. Wait, really? Oh,